From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. For 2 weeks, students participating in the StarTalk program immerse themselves in Chinese language and culture. However, it's one thing to learn how to speak a language, but eventually you have to put it into practice. Ryan Renfro shows us how they did it.
Chiang Chen currently teaches Chinese at Raleigh Magnet High School in North Carolina. He's worked with the StarTalk program for 10 years, and his time with StarTalk has taken him to schools such as Appalachian State University, North Carolina State University, and Troy.
I've been working for Troy University StarTalk program for 6 years. The first time I came to Troy University, I came here as a site visitor.
A visitor at first, but now it's been 6 years since the beginning of StarTalk in Troy, and Chen has been here ever since. And as he puts it, wide awake and motivated by his students.
I don't feel tired even though I work like 10 hours a day because my students are motivated. Their happiness encourages me to work hard to teach them well.
And this week, Chen's students have studied Chinese vocabulary words pertaining to various types of foods. And the classroom turned into a restaurant.
I pair students to do the role play. Students can role play ordering food in Chinese restaurant. One of them is the waiter or waitress. The other is the customer.
And as students put the language to practice, Chen reflects on this year and the success of the StarTalk program.
Based on the experience of the previous years, we did some change of the program. So we try to make this program more effective, make that better and better. So far, we feel that the students have learned the language in the class. They also learned some culture.
And all of that learning and practice paid off as the campers had the chance to show off what they had learned about Chinese language and culture to their families at the StarTalk closing ceremony at the end of camp. Austin Cofield has the details.
Troy University hosts a program named StarTalk every year. After 2 weeks of introducing students of all ages to Chinese culture, the program wraps up by showcasing the skills the students learned while participating. This closing program shows that StarTalk isn't just notes and papers, but in fact something much more engaging.
Fun is something everybody wants, especially those kids. They are young, they are energetic. If you cannot hold their attention for longer time, you cannot get your work done. So we need to have some fun activities to attract them and make them feel better about themselves. That is very important.
It really is awesome. I've been with them since day one. It's a 14-day program. I've been here since day one, and to see them from, day one, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to do the dances, to now, and they all know how to do it. It's an awesome experience.
While StarTalk only lasts 2 weeks, students are taught as much as possible about the language as well as the culture, two topics that help play a role in some of the students' futures.
Well, I want to be an engineer and a business owner of an engineering company that hires rising engineers and funds their projects. And I plan for it to be like international, so if I know Chinese, then that's like the business language of the future. So
in today's world, we know that people's communications between countries, across continents, are becoming more and more frequently. So that in that sense, we do think that it's a better way that people can understand each other, that we can speak each other's language, and from then on we can learn how to understand each other's culture, and in that way we can take away all those misunderstandings, and the world will be better.
As we enter into a future where communication is key on a global scale, it's unsurprising to see how important StarTalk can be for the next generation of students.
And I think learning Chinese is actually, it's much harder than anything else, so it's a great challenge. And it's a lot of fun, it's a beautiful culture, and it's the business language of the future, so why not?
There's a new exhibit in the upper gallery of Troy's Johnson Center for the Arts, dedicated to one of its founding members and someone who meant a great deal to the city of Troy and especially Troy University, Dr. Doug Hawkins. Nathaniel Rodriguez gives us a look at the eclectic world of Doug Hawkins.
The Johnson Center for the Arts has a new exhibit on display honoring the late Dr. Doug Hawkins for his artistic contributions. The exhibit is called The Eclectic World of Doug Hawkins and features pieces from Hawkins' personal collection, which contains works from a variety of styles.
What we have showing here is Doug's real eclectic, from Picasso and Chagall to works by Woody Long and Jimmy Lee Sudduth, to Doug's own creations.
Hawkins' own artwork features bright colors and even encouraging messages on several of his paintings, something that Pritchett says is a testament to the man he was in life.
You see the little life messages on his artwork, that to live life, to have fun on each day, to be the best you can be. Those are all things that were important to Doug and that I think represented his Christian faith.
The Johnson Center wanted an exhibit of Hawkins' artwork as a way to commemorate his role in the conversion of the old Troy post office into the Cultural Arts Center.
Doug was one of the chief proponents that we need to preserve this building, number one. And then number two, there's not a cultural arts center in Pike County, so let's make it a cultural arts center.
Unlike many of the other works in the gallery, Hawkins' work is not labeled with a formal signature. His art is simply signed with his nickname, Dougie.
Dougie was just fun, but Doug Hawkins was always fun, and so you knew him as Dougie.
The Eclectic World of Doug Hawkins exhibit will be on display until August 27th. And the Johnson Center has a new artwork display in the lower galleries as well. The exhibit, called Natural Focus, includes many prints with a connection to Troy as well. Nathaniel Rodriguez has more.
The Johnson Center for the Arts is featuring works by a Troy native in its lower galleries. The exhibit is called Natural Focus and contains artwork by Nancy Murphy, a Key West resident who was born and raised in Troy. The watercolor prints created by Murphy are detailed renditions of photos she's taken while living in Florida.
She has taken photographs, underwater photographs, and have developed some absolutely beautiful watercolors, pictures that make you think you're there and under the water and in the sea.
Pritchett says Murphy was happy to have her work displayed in Troy due to her ties to her hometown.
Nancy was so excited to come back to Troy because her parents are still living in Troy. She has grandparents, and of course, so she has some strong roots here, even though she has lived many places and loves to share her work.
While the artwork that is on display is on sale, Murphy is also selling other objects for spectators to bring home.
Nancy has several prints that are not hanging but are for sale, plus she does some beautiful note cards, and we have those on sale as well.
And in addition to receiving a reception, Murphy has been invited to speak at a workshop at the Johnson Center.
On July the 21st, our Art Bridges Teachers Workshop will be going on. Nancy has been invited back to be one of the presenters, and of how we incorporate art into the everyday curriculum. And so while she is here, we have asked to have a reception for her.
The reception will be from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Johnson Center and will be open to the public. Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Murphy's exhibit will be on display until September 10th. The Johnson Center for the Arts is located on Walnut Street in downtown Troy. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we'll see why the Trojan football team is recruiting women. Find out why after this.
This is Dr. Jack Hawkins. He's the Chancellor of Troy University and a veteran. One of his proudest achievements is serving those who serve and helping active duty military and veterans complete degrees that will build great careers. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit.
So they say it's a man's world? Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Now back to Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Summer semester is winding down at the last round of orientation students visit Troy. And this summer, students got a closer look at what they'll be spending their time through departmental visits. Ryan Renfro has the details.
How's everyone doing? This week is the last week of impact sessions for the summer. An incoming freshman interested in studying journalism had the chance to tour the Hall School of Journalism and Communication here at Troy University. In their visit, students have met with professors to learn more about different courses needed to graduate, what to look forward to, and how to get involved. One impact leader who knows a thing or two about journalism shares the importance of the department tour.
The main reason that you're in college is to make sure that you get a degree and you can go out into the field that you want to go into. And it's a great thing that the journalism department allows these students to come in, talk to professors, see what Troy really has to offer.
Elston shares her experience as an incoming freshman, an experience she says played a major role in her decision to come to Troy.
And that's definitely why I made the decision to come to Troy, because after my department visit, I just fell in love with the journalism department, and I knew that it was the right thing for me. So I'm hoping that the students feel the same way after getting to know the professors and seeing what we have to offer and learning about Trojan Vision News and how they can get involved as a freshman.
And because of the tour, the new Trojans now know what to expect when they arrive on campus. And if you ask them, knowing what to expect goes a long way.
You see what you're getting yourself into. It's not like you're going in with a blind eye, rather than coming in knowing everyone as if you already come in, and you know everyone when you come in. So
I just love the hands-on experience, the just walking in and guaranteeing that you're able to get working.
And as for getting involved, these two students are ready to get in front of the camera.
I definitely like the sports desk over there behind you, or the big time desk right here.
Well, hopefully end up at this front desk here eventually by the end of my 4 years, maybe in 2 weeks.
The fall semester will begin on August 17th. Ryan Renfro, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
For 3 weeks in July, Troy's Department of Theater and Dance holds its annual Summer Spotlight, exposing children to the performing arts. This week's session focused on dance. Nathaniel Rodriguez has the story.
Children from ages 6 through 12 are getting the chance to work with Troy University dancers at this week's Summer Spotlight session, which focuses on dance. Each day of the week is divided into segments that cover a specific style of dancing.
They get a really wide range of dance styles and genre, all the way from ballet to contemporary to musical theater and hip hop. And different ones have different preferences and strengths, and some are more comfortable in one than another. But I like that they get to have a little sample of each one this week.
But dancing is not all of what the children learn. They also learn how to interact with each other.
So I think the most important thing that they learn is not only dance things that I guess you could say, styles, steps, anything of that nature, but mostly life skills too, how to interact with people, how to interact around a bunch of new people, how to not be afraid of being different, things like that.
Sheila says that she believes the experience is beneficial to the children, regardless of their dance experience.
It is a really good opportunity for students that have had little to no experience, up to several years of experience, to get a taste of what we do as dancers every day, as well as some different ways to encourage one another, be respectful, and just learn how to participate in a group and work together.
On Friday, the children will review with their instructors and demonstrate what they learned in a showcase. Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy, TrojanVision News.
High school volleyball players looking to improve their talents on the court visited Trojan Arena this week to learn from the Trojan volleyball team. Ryan Renfro has the details.
This week, Troy Volleyball welcomes high school players from across the Southeast to Trojan Arena for a 3-day team and individual camp designed to help prospects enhance their skills. In the morning, players are broken down by positions to work on individual drills, and the evenings consist of nothing but competition.
It's all about getting them toward competition. They get a chance to compete against Division I incoming players. Our freshmen compete in this camp, and I think playing against the better players really helps them for their season as they get ready to start in August.
This week's camp has brought in players from Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. And Kirkpatrick says that when these players arrive, they're no longer viewed as high school athletes.
When we bring them into the camp, we tell them at the beginning that this is basically there are players. It gives them kind of a sense of what it takes to play at a higher level, and hopefully we can help a couple of them try to achieve their goals.
Along with the camp participants, members of the Trojan volleyball team have made their way back to Trojan Arena. And if you ask them, returning to the court to help with the camp feels pretty good.
It gets you excited for upcoming season and things like that. It just really makes you look forward to getting in the gym and working with your own team and things like that. It just makes you really excited.
And this is the first interaction as a staff we've had a chance to have with them since they left in May. It's a lot of fun and rewarding to see how they've progressed as players and try to take a mentor role with the younger kids.
The camp will come to an end on Wednesday as the players will compete in a full tournament bracket.
Football fandom tends to be dominated by males. However, Troy football head coach Neil Brown and his staff are hoping to sway a few females to the gridiron next week at their annual Football 101, a clinic to teach the finer points of the sport to women. William McCarthy gives us a look at what they can expect.
Trojan football season is fast approaching, even though most fans will have to wait until September for some Trojan action. But some Troy female fans will get the chance to immerse themselves in the sport as a part of Trojan Football 101.
It's a combination of a fun evening for the young ladies and the women of Troy to come out and have a good time, but also learn about the game of football. We have some rules clinic. We teach them the basics, offense, defense, special teams, but just a good night overall, fellowship with some of our players and our coaching staff.
Brown says in addition to being fun and educational, the Football 101 has an additional bonus of opening the eyes to some individuals who may have not previously been a fan of the sport.
Well, we're always trying to grow our fan base, and if their households or anything, or most people's households or anything like mine, the women make a lot of the choices. So, we're just trying to draw them in, give them a little bit of enticement to actually have a relationship with the coaches and with the players, and hopefully that results in them bringing their husbands or their families to games this fall.
The women will actually have an active part in planning for their season in what has become a popular part of the clinic, and that is picking out the most fashionable ensemble for the players.
Yeah, so what we'll do is, and this is something we started actually when we were doing this back at Texas Tech, is we actually let the women choose the uniform combination for one of our games in the fall. So they enjoy that. They get to see all the choices, and they make the pick, and we vote on it.
And it is not just listening to the coaches talk about the game. The participants will get to hit the field.
We actually put them through drills, offensively, defensively, special teams. Now, they don't have to, but a lot of them choose to, and just to give them a little bit of taste of what our players go through during the season.
And has Brown seen some future starters in the group in the past?
No, there's talent. There's talent. But, it's all in good fun, and it's the women that come year after year, I think they really enjoy it, and they like doing the interaction.
William McCarthy, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Football 101 will be Thursday at 6 p.m. in the Tyne Davis Fieldhouse. Registration begins at 5 p.m. and is $25. Participants will get a t-shirt, a gift bag, and heavy appetizers will be served. Well, it's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll get some details about the future Sunbelt Football Championship game. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
The warrior spirit. It's in there. Always has been. Now let it out and take the world by fire. Train well and learn what it means to be a Troy Trojan. Walk with confidence, conquer, claim territory, and climb ladders. Know that you have the power to stand alone, but the comfort of knowing that you'll never have to. Discover your inner warrior. Find it at troy.edu/spirit.
For over 70 years, Smokey Bear has asked you to use fire responsibly.
Fire is due to an unattended campfire. Go time.
Here's how you can stay on the front lines of preventing wildfires. Always watch your campfire before leaving. Drown it, stir it, drown it again, and feel that the fire is out cold.
Oh, bullseye!
And you won't need a visit from these guys.
Copy that.
You can be Smokey's wingman when enjoying nature and prevent wildfires. Visit SmokeyBear.com for more fire prevention tips.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
A championship game is coming for Sunbelt football. The league says the contest will begin starting in 2018. We'll learn what this will mean for Sunbelt teams, particularly Troy, in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we're going to be talking about a Sunbelt Conference Championship. Not unusual for sports fans around here, but something a little bit different. And joining me today is Director of Athletics, Jeremy McLean, to talk a little bit about the Sunbelt Conference Championship that's coming to football. Finally, for a lot of the sports fans out there that have been talking about this and wanting this for a while, there's finally going to be a championship game making its way to the Sun Belt. Obviously, how are you feeling at this point now the announcement's been made and it's coming to the conference?
Yeah, we're excited about it. Obviously, with the change in January with the NCAA regulations, it opened the door for us to have a more involved conversation on that football championship game. And so excited about what it means for us. I think not only does it allow us to create a student-athlete experience with a championship game, a true championship game in football like we do in other sports. So that's something to look forward to from a student-athlete perspective. But also think nationally, just branding the Sun Belt and as a football conference, as a football conference that's going to be taken seriously and with many good programs in that conference. And so I think we were us and the Big 12 were the two conferences that had not developed a championship game at this point, and both of us were in the same situation where we didn't quite have enough teams. So with the rule change, the Big 12 made that announcement earlier about a week ago, and we had a lengthy conversation over the past couple of months, and so excited about where we're at, excited about what it means to us as a conference.
And of course, now this has just now been public to us, but I know you guys have kind of known it's been going on for a little while. So what's the feel that with Neil and the team and the players and the coaches about how they feel about now the potential in the future of getting to play in a conference championship game?
Yeah, I think our guys are excited. I know our coaching staff is excited about, again, just kind of from a student-athlete perspective, it's a goal. I mean, it's something to shoot for. You try to win, get in that position to be one of those top two teams and compete for a championship. So it's another kind of feather in the cap, if you will, an opportunity. And and then as an athletic director, of course, I start thinking about Veterans Memorial Stadium being full on championship week, and because I think we're headed in down a direction where it'll be hosted on campus. So it'll be a unique opportunity for those schools to do that.
And that does add an extra element for I guess development and revenue.
Absolutely.
Is to be able to have that rotating location. Now this is 2018, so we still got 2 seasons before we see this come into play, and there's still a lot of things in the works. But let's talk a little about the possible mechanisms in which is going to take place for some of the sports fans out there. How a champion is going to be picked. I know there's 2 different options that they're looking into, and there's possibilities. Explain about how that might work out for us.
The new rule in January, the NCAA was passed through the NCAA, allowed for 2 avenues. In the past, you needed to have 12 teams and 2 divisions, winner of each division. And so what the rule basically states now is really there's no limit on there's no minimum on the number of teams required, but you can do 2 things. Either you play a round robin, a full round robin, everyone plays everyone within your league, which for us would mean we'd play 9 conference games, or you have 2 divisions and you play a round robin within your division with the 2 winners facing each other in a championship game. And so that's where we're headed. Those are the 2 options, either a round robin of every team or 2 divisions with round robins within those divisions.
And of course, now we're talking 10 teams by the time this comes around, because we're adding Coastal Carolina into the system at that point. And so is it looking like maybe 10 teams is going to be kind of the cap for the Sun Belt at this point, at least in the foreseeable future?
I think so. If you look over the past 8 years or so, the conference really gone through a complete shift of makeup. Teams that have left the conference, and when we had our first round of really serious conference realignment. And so over the next couple of years, what we'll see is Idaho and New Mexico State will no longer be affiliate members after the 2017 season. And Coastal Carolina will be coming in as an FBS member and joining the league. And so like you said, in 2018 will be the first time we have 10 teams. And I think we all feel like we're in a really solid place. And so I don't know that we can't predict the future, but I'm excited about the programs that are in our conference. Again, talking about branding those programs and the really, really good football that's being played. And so I think in 2018 with 10 teams, the championship game coming into play, I like where we're at with that. And I think that's the right path for us and where we'll be in the foreseeable future.
And of course, if I had to look into the director of athletics crystal ball, I would think that the possibility, those 2 options you talked about earlier, the divisional one may be the one that seems like maybe a little more attractive, especially for scheduling and things of that sort. Is that something that you think so?
I think there'll be a lot of conversation about that gives you an option to play 8 conference games where we are now. Like I said, the round robin with the full 10 teams would mean playing 9 conference games. So I think that'll be the big topic of discussion. Like you said, how does that affect scheduling? I know that's to be determined, but you're right. Those are serious factors that'll come into play.
And of course, the added factor of being able to possibly host the championship as well throws that into play. And obviously, it's going to get you and your staff into possibilities, some overtime work and getting that kind of thing scheduled. And here's hoping in December of 2018 that you guys are working overtime.
Absolutely, we'll have no problem with that.
No problem working a little extra overtime. I want to see a championship game in the vet. So
absolutely.
Thanks for joining us and explaining how all this is going to work out, and looking forward to a championship game in the Sun Belt here in the future.
Thanks
Chairman. And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened on the second week of July 2016. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune into Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Thursday, or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News fan page on Facebook. See links to online content from Troy TrojanVision News. We'll be joining us again next week for another edition of Troy TrojanVision Weekly. Have a good week.